Welcome. This is the Just Because Buzz, Thread Tales number 11. Thank you for joining me. I'd like to welcome my subscribers back and thank you for commenting, and I just love reading those comments and responding. And if you're a new subscriber or new to my channel, I hope you will like it and subscribe and join in the conversation. Grab something to drink and let's talk about stitching. And this video is about cross stitch, it's about quilting, it's about saving the stitches, it's about what you enjoy in your stitching journey, whether it's quilting or cross stitch or wool applique. So I hope you will sit back and just enjoy. I've got a cup of tea in my Be Happy mug, so just sit down and enjoy. So an old FFO is usually how I like to start, is sharing something that has been previously finished prior to me starting these videos. And I found some cross-stitch ornaments when we were going through my husband's parents' estate. And I believe these were made by my mother-in-law. Her name was Mary. And she was a wonderful seamstress and loved to stitch and do things with her hands. And the first one is this one, and cross-stitched the iris, and then it looks to be finished. And these are just how I found them, even with this little sewing machine needle in it. I don't know why it's there, but anyway, these appear to be finished on the back using the plastic canvas. And then it's got a ring up here. It's just so pretty, I think, and just, you know, very vintage looking. Has the gold braid in there, and just very meticulously done. And then, I don't know if this is considered a sunflower. I'm not sure. It kind of looks like it to me. It's a little more bright orange than some sunflowers I see, but I know there's some out there that look similar to this. So finished the same way. Again, there's another sewing machine needle in the back, and I never took it out. But I just thought these were really pretty finishes and have held up through the years. All right. So now I'm going to share with you some new FFOs. These are some projects that I've recently finished since my last video. And FFO means fully finished object if you're new to the acronyms and cross-stitching, and then there's acronyms in quilting too. So, all right, so the first thing I made yesterday, I was getting to go visit someone that I had never met before. I am new to my area. I live in Northwest Ohio, and since I moved back in March of last year, we of course could not go to Quilt Guild meetings, and so I haven't been able to meet the ladies in my guild, even though I went ahead and joined the Black Swamp Quilt Guild, and they usually meet in the Bowling Green, Ohio area. Well, one of the guild members sends out the roster, and she had contacted me the other day and said that she was updating the roster and just needed to get some updated information from me, and so I sent it back to her, and she goes, I just realized where you lived, and I just moved there too. And so we started chit-chatting back and forth through email, and she invited me over to her home, and we settled on yesterday afternoon, and so I was able to go over there, and we she has a brand new home, and we got to visit, and we wore our mask and sat apart from each other, but nobody had been sick in our families, so we felt pretty safe getting together. And she got to show me her new sewing room, and it was just really nice to sit and talk to someone face to face about quilting, and I just treasured that time. So going to her house for the first time, I wanted to take her a little hostess gift. So I decided to make her a mug rug using the Vintage Christmas book by Lori Holt. And she has a little winter hat that I used. I made this 6.5-inch block, and then she has instructions in this book on how to make a mug rug. And so I decided that that's what I wanted to make for her, and I made it in real bright cheery colors, and I'll insert a picture here so that you can see it too. And she was thrilled. It was fun to see that she enjoyed getting that. So if you ever need a quick gift, those are pretty quick to make, especially with the hat. There was only about 7 pieces to cut out. Plus you have to cut out the little borders that go around it, but pretty much, it's just a quick little 6.5-inch block to piece. So if you needed a quick gift and you have this book, or if you have any of Lori's books and do the 6.5-inch block, you can have a pretty quick gift to make a mug rug and take it to someone. The other thing that I finished was this little piece of embroidery. This was a kit that was, the fabric and the thread was a kit when I was in high school. And taking home economics, we were given this kit to learn how to do embroidery stitches. And so this was my piece. And it's just been sitting in my little box that I have all my finished stitching in, but not fully finished. And so this is what I decided to finish this week. Just kind of did a flat, soft ornament. It has interfacing, or fusible fleece, excuse me, that I ironed on. And then I used this as the back. And then I just did a ruching of a ribbon that I had and just eyeballed it. I didn't gather it to ruche it. I just kind of ruched it as I went, and then used this little bauble and bow at the top. So it's just something fun for spring, and it was nice to get something finished. And it's like I said, made it in high school. So some of the girls turned theirs into a pincushion, and I have plenty of pincushions right now, so decided to make it into a little spring floral ornament. And then the other piece that I finished was this heart. I decided to make it into a needle minder. It's been sitting in my cross stitch bag for a while. It's on gold perforated paper, and it is a design by BeeCuzz, and that's spelled S-E-K-A-S and Company. And you've heard me mention the Finishing Touch. I used to get their newsletters, and this was a freebie design in their newsletter. And I believe that the thread that was used is like a Caron watercolor type thread. And so that's the type of thread. And I finished it on the back with a little piece of wool felt. My finishing for my magnet is not the best. So anyway, there is a magnet here, and I may have to get a different magnet. This one's not strong enough if I wanted to use it for the needle minder. But I was happy to finish, even if it's a small finish. I was happy to have it finished and be able to mark it off in my book. And I'll have to show you my book in a moment. I have organized my cross stitch pieces in a book, so I'll share that with you in a bit. And then I did finish a piece of cross stitch this week. It is the Lori Holt stitch cards, and it was something I showed last week that wasn't, or last time, that wasn't quite finished. And it's the stitch card B. It has the Daddy's tractor, and I finished that, and I'll make it into a cute little pillow similar to what Lori has shown on her videos. So I changed it up a little bit with my colors, just using some threads that I already had, and fabric. This is just a miscellaneous piece of linen that I had. So just got that finished. And then I'm going to move on to my whips. I'm excited about this first whip. This is a Blackbird design. A lot of people have been showing this book, Winds of Autumn. And in the very back of the book, there is a sampler that caught my eye because of it being a lot of, or a reference to oaks and the mighty acorn. And we have lots of oak trees in our yard and lots of squirrels, and there's a couple of squirrels there, and lots of acorns and leaves. So I decided that this would be my new year, new start. I am going to change the color of the house to try to match our house more closely. And these are the colors, some of the colors. I wasn't able to get all of the colors of floss because my local needlework shop, which is Craft Gallery in Findlay, Ohio, they did not have all of the floss, but I did call them this afternoon, and they just got a shipment in of their weeks and dye works, and so she's going to pull the rest of it for me. I'm considering this blue for my house. It's got some gray in there and some blue, but it might be too bright. That blue that's coming through there might be too bright. So when I go pick up my thread tomorrow, I may look for another blue and see if I can get something a little bit closer to the house. I don't want something that's like a bright blue, because it's not really that. It's a kind of a gray blue. So we'll see. And then my progress since the start on New Year's Day. Let's see if I can get it centered on here so you can see the whole thing. So I have the border all the way around, and I've been working up at the top quite a bit, doing the leaves and the acorns. And then some of the leaves are filled in. Some of them still have a few spots to be filled in. And then you can see this is where I need some of the threads. So, but just a pretty piece to stitch. I like the acorns just sporadically placed in the border. And this piece is stitched on Picture This Plus Fog, and it's 36 count. Hold it up one more time, and then these are the threads. So still trying to decide about that blue, not sure about it. So I've spent a lot of time on that since the first of the year, and I've really enjoyed it. And then the Giving Thanks pattern, this is also a Blackbird design pattern, and I was struggling with that. The last time I visited with you, I was sharing that I was having a hard time seeing the black. And then it kind of dawned on me, well, maybe I should try a hoop. Maybe that would help spread the holes out so that I could see better. And I have tried the hoop, and I have been able to get a few more stitches in. And also, I stitch up here next to this window that my sewing room, craft room is in, and it really does seem to help if I have the lot of natural light and the hoop. So I've gotten a few more stitches in. In fact, I ripped all the stitches in that I had showed you before. I ripped all of that out, and I'm also stitching now just with one thread over too, and that seems to help as well. So it's coming along. It's not as far along as I would like it to be, but little by little. And then my ABC's Mill Hill, I haven't done anything with it since we last visited. It still lacks treasures, and then I probably will go ahead and change that 2020 to 2021, since I won't finish it until sometime this year. And hopefully the treasures are on order from the craft gallery, so hopefully those will come in soon and I can finish this up and get it framed. Miss Paula's already measured it for me, and we know what frame we're going to use. We just have to get the treasures on there, finish that date, and then tidy it up, make sure that all the treasures and the buttons are secure, and then take it down to her and let her do her magic with it. And then I've also been working on another little stitch piece. This is by Lizzie Kate. It's called Summer Basket, and I'm stitching it with a friend in mind, and we'll finish it probably in a little pillow and gift it to her. So I only have 3 colors left to go. I'm not sure what kind of fabric this is. It was just in my stash. So I've got the basket, and I need to fill in the little areas here on the basket. And then there's the green checkerboard at the bottom, 2 different colors of green. So I just have these 3 colors left to stitch, and then I'll be ready to finish this one. But I thought it turned out really cute. It also has a little bee that goes up in here, and so I'll add the little bee button too. It's a little, I think it might be just another Button Company bee. So I'll be adding that. So hopefully I can show that to you finished. Maybe just a picture next time, because I'll have it finished and hopefully sent to its recipient. And then I've been working on O Tannenbaum. This is the quilt behind me. My friend Louise that I stitch with on Fridays, she has been encouraging me kindly to work on this. And so last Friday when we got together via FaceTime, I was able to cut out my next 2 houses. And so these project boards are paper pieces that have been cut out for the 2 houses, and so I can show you kind of an example of what we're talking about. Lots of little bitty pieces. So haven't started stitching it. We'll probably stitch with her tomorrow, and I will start paper piecing those. I had a picture of, let's see, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but I can show you this little bitty house right here. This is called a timber house, and that's one of them that I need to do. And then the other one is this one at the top. So, and then as you can see, this has applique. So O Tannenbaum, there's the tree in the very center. There's the applique on the edges, and then I still have the borders to do as well. The stars are made, but yes, there's still quite a bit to do with this quilt, but Louise is encouraging me, and I have another friend down in Alabama that's also working on hers, so I'll get there. So Stitchy Kindness, I wanted to share that with you. Let me reach down here and get my bucket, my basket of goodies. So Jenny, Long Dog Stitcher, she sent a Christmas card, and I forgot to show it on my last video, so I wanted to thank Jenny. She does these incredible Long Dog samplers, and oh my goodness, just beautiful, and it was fun to get a card from her. Thank you, Jenny. And then I watch Leslie with Fat Cat Flossing, and one day back in the fall, I won one of her shares that she does, and she was stitching on the piece and gave it, this is the one that she finished it, and then this is the one that she sent me. So let's see if I can pull it out so you can see it. It's Annie B's Folk Art, and it's Sunflower Row. So if you want to see what Leslie's looks like, you should go over and look at her Instagram or on her videos. She does FlossTube as well, and it is beautiful. She chose her own colors, and she did a fabulous job, so I'm excited to stitch this one. It's really pretty. I love the quilt block on the side of the barn. Just really pretty. Or the house. Not sure what that is. I would say it. Well, it might be a house. So thank you, Leslie. I'm excited about that one. All right. So now I'm going to move on to my haul. I received a gift card from Amazon for Christmas from my brother-in-law, and I was able to get a few things that were Stitchy related. One of them was the rings that you use for your floss. See, I was able to get some of those. I got, not real exciting, you know, but did get some of those rings to hold your floss. And then I needed some more Wonder Clips. If you're a quilter or you sew at all and you've used the Wonder Clips, you know what I'm talking about. And so this is a lot of Wonder Clips, so I was excited about that. These are great for holding things in place, holding your binding down while you're trying to get started on your binding, going around the backs of quilts, or just a lot of different things you can use these for. So got this little tin, and now I have plenty of them. And then I was able to get a pattern by the Pattern Basket. The only drawback is I didn't read this little message down here at the corner, is you have to have her pattern that's called Hocus Pocus to be able to make the table runner. So anyway, I like that quilt too, and so I don't have very many fall quilts that I can put on my big rack downstairs and hang on the wall. So I'll plan on getting that pattern at some time so I can go ahead and make that quilt and make this, hopefully. And then the other thing that I was able to get was from Amazon was I found a source for linen. And the linens that I've been using and the fabrics that I've been using have been from Stash that was gifted to me from my friend Sandy that I've mentioned before. And so I wanted to try to get some new linens, some different counts, some 36 and 32. So the first linen I'm going to show you is a 36 count Edinburgh, and these are Zweigart based. And let's see if I can, I don't know if you're going to be able to really see a true color of it. It's actually darker than what it's showing on the video, but it's called light mocha. So if it's probably a common color, and you can may even have it in your own stash. And then the other one that I got is a Zweigart based, and this is called, it's 32 count Belfast linen, and this is called Silvery Moon. So this has a little bit of a gray tint to it, and I really like that. I think that's going to be pretty for maybe some winter stitching, maybe Valentine type stitching, where the reds and pinks would really pop off of there. Even white, I think, would still, depending on the white, would pop off. So that's Silvery Moon, and it's a 32 count. So I was very pleased to find that. I didn't even know if I'd be able to find anything like that on Amazon. And try some fabrics that I would be able to use with some of the new patterns that I've been getting. So, and then I went to Goodwill the other day looking for some file folders, and just to see if they had some that I could get cheaply. And I happened to see this quilt pattern by Thimble Blossoms, and it was 50 cents. And I already had the quilt pattern, but I've really been wanting to make it. And Louise did not have this pattern. So this will be Louise's pattern. And maybe one day we'll get to make it together. So keep that in mind, Louise. All right. So my biggest haul was last Friday. I had found an estate sale that I wanted to go to, and it was in a big Victorian home. And the pictures showed a big craft area, scrapbooking and rubber stamps, and some sewing and sewing machines and fabric. And so I thought, oh, I'd really like to go over there and just see what it was like. And they also had books, and they had some things that my daughter was interested in. So Friday afternoon we went over there, and it wasn't very crowded at all, and we had our mask on. And I get upstairs. It's actually three stories, but then there's also a full basement. So I get upstairs, and I was looking around at some of the buttons and things. There were bags of buttons and just all kinds of stuff. And I came across 3 magazine holders and started thumbing through there and couldn't believe what cross-stitch patterns I was finding. So I'm going to share those with you now. And I'll kind of zip through them. I've shown them to my friend Louise, and we're hoping to stitch them, and then we'll pass them along, because I think it's a great thing to share these. And some of these may be ones that people are looking for. I don't know. You'll know which ones I'm talking about when I start showing them to you, because I've heard people talk about certain designers are not available anymore, or they're might be collecting certain patterns. So anyway, I thought I would share them with you. So first of all, there was some Lizzie Kate. This was a full pattern. I'll get my elves on that. So I found that, and these were all 75 cents the day that we went. Winter Wishes by Lizzie Kate. Gather Harvest of Love. And I love these smalls by Lizzie K, as I showed you one earlier that I was working on. And Good Things Come to Those Who Stitch. Really think that's cute. Some other Lizzie K. This was a winter one. It still had the charm on it. Those are 4 designs in there. Booster Club member. Christmas Is. There's No Place Like Home for the Holidays. Little birdhouses. And Come with Thankful Harvest. And then a JBW design. Love that little turkey with all the little motifs inside the turkey. I think that's cute. Country Cottage Needleworks. And that is Summer Garden. Love that and love the little bees. Little House Needleworks, Silent Night. Little House Needleworks, The Wool Needle Book, and Scissor Fob. Little House Needleworks Baked Goods. All Dolled Up. And Frosty Flakes by Little House Needleworks. And then I thought this was cute. Stitcher's Sensations, Family, Faith, and Friends. Good for patriotic stitching. This is by For My Boys. Humble Gratitude. It's hard to read it backwards. And this was a Cedar Hill design, and it's Live Well, Laugh Often, and Love Much. The chart's on the back, so I can't really show that to you, but it's just a real simple design by Cedar Hill. And this was Happy Halloween. I'm not a Halloween stitcher, but I could take that out. I like the little black cat with the pumpkins, though. I think that would be cute. And this is Snowman Sampler. Very cute. And My Big Toe. I really liked this design. Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Happiness. Thought that was really pretty. Heart in Hand. This is a steeple sampler. I love little churches. That's really sweet. Another Heart in Hand, monthly miniatures. Heart in Hand, Snow Time. The Black Sheep sampler by Elizabeth's Designs. And there's a sticker in the middle, but I haven't taken that off. But I love the little bee scab and all the little emblems, little motifs. And then I got into some Bent Creek. This is The Seasons. And Cabin in the Woods. And Flag, 1998. Yep. And Soapbox Winter. Little snowman. The cardinal at the bottom. And then a Birds Over the Feather, Liberty. And then Cinnamon Heart Needleworks. I really liked these as a quilter. I loved the little quilt blocks. I just thought that was a really nice one, and I liked the little bows. And then Prairie Schooler found the Santa cards. There's the 2008, and this one's 2007, and 1999, and then 1998. And then I found 16 Prairie Schoolers. So I'll go through those pretty quickly. This feels like original cardstock to me. I'm going to have to investigate a little more and see if that's really what I have here. This is book number 3, Noah's Ark. And then this is Americana, or American Primitive, number 8. I really like this piece. I like that a lot. And then number 11. Really liked this one. This one has a church. I really like that one. Village Sampler. St. Nicholas. And then this is Christmas Ark. And then Santa Rides. Those are really cute. I really like those a lot. And then this is 2x2 number 2. And there's also 2x2 number 1. And this was a surprise when I picked this one up. This was a Save the Stitches also, because all of the animals in this one are already stitched. So there's the giraffe. One of the elephants, and the camels, and the zebras, another giraffe, and then another elephant. So all of these animals are stitched. The ark needs to be stitched, and then if I decided to continue, then there's some more of the animals. So that was a sweet find to find the stitched pieces in there. And then this is spring and fall. Love that turkey. And then this is summer and winter. Starry night. These little stockings are really cute. The little bands are cross-stitched. Country seasons. So it's all the different seasons. Winter, spring, summer, and autumn. And then daffodils. And then finally November. So I was really excited to find these. I had never picked up or purchased a Prairie Schooler, and they are such pretty charts, and it was fun to find these others as well, and to find some Lizzie Kates that had charms still attached to them. It was just a neat find, and for 75 cents each, it was hard to pass up. And that I can share them and then pass them along to other people that would enjoy stitching them would just be a treat too. So anyway, a little bit about organization. Every year for the past few years, I have been using the Quilter's Planner. And so the Quilter's Planner is basically like a day timer. It has all the months of the year, and you can kind of choose your layout. You can decide if you want your week to start on Sunday or a Monday and in your layout. And I usually like to have it start on Sunday, just traditional. And I can show you a little bit how it looks. And then you can choose your setup. And some people choose to have this first column to be Monday, and then have Saturday and then Sunday on the end over here. But there's all kinds of just lists you can make. You can choose the layout. There's different pages. Each section has grid paper in it, which I really like a lot. There's quilt fabric, quilt patterns in here that are made by designers that they have worked with. And then there's a place for all your projects. And I'm not proud of this, that I have this many projects in quilting that I still have yet to finish, but I'm determined to work on this list. And with Louise's help and encouragement from others, I have a plan to get this list way down. But this does help me a lot. It has other places where you can record like a project planner if you decide you want to make a project and you're just starting out, or if you're designing something yourself. Some great reference materials or charts and things like that. So this has been something that's really helped me with organizing my stitching, especially for quilting. I use it for my everyday things too, and appointments and things like that too. So I've really enjoyed having these day timers. And then for cross stitch this year, I thought maybe I would include it in my quilting planner, but it just kind of ran out of room, and so I decided to look and see what I could use for cross stitch. And one of the floss tubers, Stitch All the Things, she had on her, you could go to her, I don't know if it's actually a website, I'll have to try to link it below, but anyway, she had pages where you could record your cross stitch projects and your whips and make records of that, so that you would have a record of what fabric you used and what threads you used. And that's helpful, because sometimes I change things up and then I'll share it on Instagram or something, and somebody will want to know what your thread conversion was, and you've got it written down, so that really helps you go back and look it up for them. And I have quite a few cross stitch pieces that are finished with the stitching, but they're not fully finished. So that's where I'm heaviest in cross stitching. In quilting, it's all different stages of the quilt are in progress. In cross stitching, mainly they're all finished as far as the stitching part goes, but they need to be fully finished. So this was kind of an eye-opener. It's an eye-opener every January when I pull everything out and start trying to organize and start trying to whittle these projects down, and not have so many works in progress, or UFOs that we call them in quilting. So my goal is to continue to work on those UFOs. I think last week I had said that I really wanted to focus on certain things. So I was going to try to finish 5 things before I started anything else. And I don't even know if I'll stick to that, because I have so many things to finish. I don't need to start anything. But I know I will, because I know I'll have little gifts that I want to make, like I wanted to make yesterday, and like I'm making right now for another little friend. So I know I'll have little things that I would start before I finish some of these other things. But my Farm Girl vintage quilt, I want to get that finished, and working on Otan Balm. I do have a Valentine's quilt that I'd started. I'd like to get it going, or at least get some blocks made on it. And then the French Roses that we worked on before, and I have a summer quilt that I'd like to quilt. It's ready to be quilted. So lots of plans. And also have, and I forgot to share this in my haul because I didn't have it in my notes, but I wanted to make my husband a quilt, and I didn't get the fabric before Christmas. I ordered it before Christmas, but it's this really pretty flannel fabric. And so this was supposed to be a Christmas present for him, and I didn't get it before Christmas. So I have all the fabrics out, and now I'm ready to start cutting that. So I will have to start that and finish it before I finish 5 other things. But sometimes you just have to go with the flow, and you have to just enjoy it, enjoy the process, but be as disciplined as you can and still enjoy it. So anyway, last time I talked to you about a new little segment I wanted to do. Is I love to cook, and I love trying new recipes. I love pulling out the old tried and true as well. And just thought I would share a recipe that we really enjoy, and I will link to the person that is on their blog or website, so that you can go and check it out and print it off. And one of our favorites is called Greek lemon chicken soup. And this is a tiny picture of it, but I don't know if it'll focus even. But it is delicious, and it is by A Spicy Perspective. It's on her blog, and like I said, I'll link it. It's kind of like a chicken noodle variation. So it's chicken with broth, and then it has lemon in it. It has, at the end, you put feta and chives on top of it, and it is so good. You use red pepper flakes. If you like red pepper flakes, you can use that, and it's like one of these soups that is so delicious. It can clear your sinuses if you want it to, but you don't have to if you don't want it to. You can leave those red pepper flakes out. but it just has a really, really good flavor. It has onion in it and lemon, and we just love it. I usually have to buy two containers of feta cheese because that cheese and that broth and the chicken is just so delicious. So I'll link it below, and you can go give it a try and tell me what you think. So I'll do a recipe every time I do at FlossTube, and maybe by the end of the year you'll have an arsenal of favorite recipes that you can make for your family. And then just an encouraging word, like I like to end on, is just enjoy each stitch. Um, this is such a fun, creative group that we're a part of, whether it's quilting or cross stitching or wool applique or all of the above. Just enjoy each stitch. If you get a few minutes and you've got your stitching ready to go, set the timer. If you only have 15 minutes, set the timer and stitch for 15 minutes. You'd be surprised how far along you can get doing that every day if you only have that amount of time. I do a lot of my cross stitching at night when we're watching TV, not during the day, but I just hope you'll enjoy it. Starting off a new year and starting some new projects or working on the old ones like me. So I'm doing both. So thank you for joining me, and I love your comments. So I would love to hear from you and hear what you're stitching or what you're enjoying doing. And I hope to be able to continue to do these about every 2 weeks. So happy stitching and have a great rest of your week. Bye.